Hi, this is Karen from Quiet Mountain Wellness. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the ways in which you can use your decisions to create a higher quality life. There is also a little exercise that I will offer a little later in the video so that you can start actually putting this content into action in your life. Because after all, no matter how great information might sound, if we're not motivated enough to put it into use, to take action on it, then it really doesn't have any power or any value in our lives. So I do hope that today you will consider my message and really contemplate whether or not this could be helpful to you. And if it is, I hope that you will use it and benefit from it. So talking about decisions. First, I'd like to say that we make a lot of decisions every single day. However, the decisions that we make, many of them are just subconscious decisions now. We don't have to actually weigh out whether or not we're going to do them. We just do them. Brushing your teeth, going to bed at a certain time. For the most part, we all kind of have our routines. And within those routines are the decisions that we've made, the things that we'd like to do, the things that perhaps we find bring us some kind of value, make the quality of our lives better in one way or another. And of course, those things can change depending on what our priorities are at a specific time in our life, because everyone has priorities that shift and change over the course of time. So this is really, something to consider, that it's not like a one and done, it's not like in stone, and that there is some flexibility around that. And it's really great to use curiosity when we move through this process. So take a look at some of your very basic decisions that you've made and ask yourself, what is this giving me? What is this bringing me that's positive? What is this helping me to create in my life that I love? And understand that as you continue to ask yourself that question about the decisions that you're making, you're going to kind of come up with some patterns. Meaning you may understand, and these things may reflect that you want to live a higher quality of physical health and vitality. Or your decisions may direct you to another area of your life, perhaps relationships. So whatever choices that you're making in these different areas, you are evaluating what they're giving to you. Now, sometimes we make choices that actually aren't helping us to create what it is that we truly want. And this is really the area that I want us to kind of take a look at today. So once we've established what choices work for us, what decisions we've made that we like, that are giving us some value, if you will, in our lives, bringing something to us, building or adding something that we appreciate, then we can take a look at the other things that we need to do. These are all about options. We have so many options in this modern life that we live, and often the options that we have far outweigh our ability to sift through all of them. We can feel very overwhelmed by the number of options and the new options. And, if you follow influencers or, perhaps you're reading research and things about areas of interest in your life. There are always new vitamins to take or a new workout to try or, a new hack of this, that, or the other kind. So there's lots of decisions that we can make because we have lots of options. However, the more decisions we actually have to think about, evaluate, weigh, this all takes energy. So the energy is going into what do I choose, what do I decide? And, we've all heard of the term decision fatigue. And that often happens, especially when we're trying to make changes in our lives, but they are big changes, big life changes, big lifestyle changes. These kinds of things are the things that actually take a lot of energy from us and often can be difficult to hold on to and to keep staying consistent with, because they do take so much energy and they are new. And generally speaking, we don't always take just one of these at a time. When we feel like we want to get out and go and make those changes, we feel like we kind of add, and we're always adding instead of taking away. So there's more decisions, there's more options, there's more things to layer on top of what we're already doing. And if the big pieces that you're moving are the ones that you're already doing and you're adding more to that, again, that just really feels like a huge energy load that is being taken away from your daily energy and vitality for the rest of your life that you need to live. So how do we deal with this simply? Well, first of all, by acknowledging that there are quite likely more options than we could ever really consider, as far as adding into our life on a daily basis. We do have to choose. So we have to sit down and understand what the priorities are. What are the things we're trying to create? What are the most important things to us as we move forward? What things give us the greatest sense of value, appreciation, meaning, upliftment? Because these are the decisions that we really want to focus on. Now, when we look at what options are available to us, very simply, all we need to do is this. We say, if I make this decision, does this decision support the other decisions that I've already made that have created a positive investment in my life and have given me a positive return? If those decisions don't mesh with your other ones, then look in another pile of decisions. Look somewhere else for more options. Because when we select decisions, make decisions that support the ones that are already giving us something great, we're adding to that investment. And we're actually increasing our momentum and moving forward to the places that we want to move. So if you're going to be changing things around, making new decisions, testing things out, then I would suggest that you just pick one small option and add that small option to the things that you're already doing that are already working. And then notice, what is the energy there? Is it taking away from these good things that you want, or is it adding to? Because often if we add a lot of new at the same time, what we end up doing is very easily we can either waste money, we can waste time, we can waste energy. And we can actually make ourselves feel like we're stuck because we've got some momentum moving forward, but now we have new decisions that are pulling on that forward momentum, pulling us back and making us feel stuck. So look at your decisions. Write down the ones that are working for you. Write down the ones that have been with you for a long time and that are bringing something to you, giving you something additional, adding to your life, things that feel meaningful, positive, that bring you vitality or joy. These are the ones that we kind of want to create as our baseline decisions. And then as you add new ones, as you use your curiosity and entertain other options, continue to ask yourself, does this new option, this new decision support the ones I've already made, the ones that are important to me? And if it doesn't, then the answer is no thanks, not now. Maybe there's going to be a later time in your life when it would be more opportune for you to try that new thing. But really what we want to do in life is keep our life quality high, and we can do that by choosing the things that support where we want to go, and that all new things that we decide to allow into our lives, to make sure that those things continue to align with what's already worked, what's already working, what's already giving us a reward, what's already giving us a feeling of investing in something that can grow into more and more and more of what it is that we really value and that we really want in our lives. I hope that this has been helpful, interesting, enjoyable, and I really do hope that you'll give it a try, because you may find just becoming conscious of the things that you've already decided and really just intentionally looking at that, and then intentionally looking at your patterns of choosing and your patterns of adding new decisions, you may find some really interesting things there that might need a little tweak, or some things that you might be really happy about that are even better than what you thought they'd be when you first made that decision. So decisions, right? They aren't going to go away, but when we know how to use them as a tool, and we know how to add to them and blend them together and create the puzzle of decisions that gives us what we really want out of life, well, that's where the power is. I hope that you will exert your power over your decisions and start creating the life that you really, really want. Thanks for listening.